Hey Time Slicers, welcome to Slice Squad Spills. I'm your host, Nikki Wildflower. I went from a basement apartment to a multiple seven-figure empire. Now I'm here to share how you can do it too. My hair is so greasy.
Oh, wait, but it's also sticking up. Like,
where? Oh, crumb.
Yeah.
All right,
it's okay.
It's all good. Like, we do what we can. No, I actually put like beef tallow on my face.
Oh, no.
What, are you not supposed to do that?
No. It's like such a trend. It's like, I think it actually, there's science behind it for sure, but apparently estheticians now can like tell because their clients like smell a little bit like beef.
No, mine doesn't smell like beef. It smells like
it just has a
beef.
Smell. Beef tallow has a smell.
Not mine.
It's rendered beef fat.
I don't want to think about it. Okay. It's just on my face.
I just can't believe you went into the, I mean, I guess I can believe it, but
you know me. So welcome back to another episode of Slice Squad Spills. I'm Nikki Wildflower. I'm here with my host, Jackie, my co-host, Jackie.
Hello. Off to an amazing start today.
You're doing great, sweetie.
So good.
But no, this is where we light a fire under your ass. Mm-hmm. Set your excuses on fire and I guess leave you standing in the ashes.
This is the podcast where we like semi-trigger you into doing something about it in your business.
Do better.
Do better.
Yeah. And today we're going all the way in. We're talking about confidence and not like the Instagram quote version, the real thing, the kind that you really build in silence, I would say. And that doesn't flinch when your client lowballs you or you have to enforce your policy. That kind of walks into a room and really owns it. That does consultations with and holds authority in those consultations before you even say a word.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about that confidence that you see in others, like people that you look up to and you're like, how did they get there? And I promise you that some people are born with a little bit more confidence. Some of us just have really inflated egos from birth and some of us don't. That sort of like an inflated ego and the confidence that we're talking about today are not the same thing. We're talking about that like strength that you aspire to have, that you see in another human, or that like integrity that you see in another person. Or that silent sort of like they enter a room and you're like, what the fuck do they got to say about it? Because I want to know. That's what we're talking about today and how you build it.
People ask me a lot, like, or tell me a lot, I want to be like you. I want to be more confident, that kind of thing. And like, I'm just here to tell you right now, like, that is not a personality trait. It's not something I was born with. It's not something that I I didn't used to speak when I was younger because I was like, so afraid of what was going to come out of my mouth. Turns out I should have. Yeah, it turns out that I
should have kept your mouth shut.
I should have kept my fucking mouth shut. No, I mean it's not a personality trait, and it's not about your freaking zodiac sign, and it's not something that people are naturally born with for the most part, and it's not just who you are.
True confidence is not.
No, and it's not, and it's a skill.
It is,
and skills can be trained. Mm-hmm. And the more and more that like I continue to do, I'm like, there's really nothing unattainable because almost everything is just a skill that takes repetition and a strategy. Like you're not born confident. You become confident by walking into rooms where you feel like an imposter, by doing things that you're terrified to fucking do, by taking leaps in your life that you're scared of and doing it anyway.
You also grow confidence by going through failure or trial. I hate the word failure, trials and tribulations. Like it comes from also resilience and saying I took that fucking leap on myself and maybe it didn't turn out exactly the way that I wanted it to, but I fucking took it. Like I figured it out from there. I decided to take that lesson and learn from it and grow. So it's like about that resilience as well that you build by showing up for yourself and taking these leaps and saying, I'm going to just keep fucking putting one foot in front of the other to become exactly who I am aligned with.
Yeah, 100%. You earn confidence by doing what you say you're going to do repeatedly. And you earn it by charging the price that you're scared to say out loud. You build it by not ghosting potential clients after they like borderline rejected you and your nervous system is screaming, we're going to die. That's the reality of it.
Yeah. It's doing what you say you're going to do and being who you say you are. both in front of people and behind closed doors when you're on your own, right?
Yeah, 100%. And like, I think that a lot of people are like waiting for, they'll like say affirmations about like, I'm confident, I'm bold. And they're just like waiting for this confidence
I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that
I
bitch.
am that bitch. And you're sitting there like waiting on confidence, like it's going to be delivered to your doorstep, like an Amazon order. And with a bow, it's not. It's earned in the chair, on the floor, in the moment that your hand is shaking, but you do it anyway.
Mm-hmm. In the boring, repetitive consistency that you're putting in and the discipline that you've decided to implement into your life. Those social media posts, I mean, even the social media confidence thing, right? Like, do you think that Nikki, myself, anyone who goes face forward or voice forward on social media was born with that skill to do that? Or even to fucking podcast? I was scared as shit. The first few episodes, I'm like, I have a different voice.
Yeah.
Literally, because
No.
I was talking like my head voice because I was so scared. You know, like how did we get confident to get to season whatever the fuck 5 that we're in? Because we just keep doing this every single week.
Yeah.
Now we like wing it, and I feel much better. I feel like these episodes are way better than the first
and
season.
Whether you feel like it or not, it's a habit at this point. Like,
that's right.
I love doing these podcasts, but at this point, it's a habit. We've been doing it long enough that it's part of our routine, right?
Yep.
But most people don't stick around through that. And like confidence also, it's going to come from like doing hard things, doing scary things, having hard conversations, and realizing that like if you post on social media and someone from high school says that you're cringy, that you're not going to die. You're not going to die.
And the reality is someone from high school calling you cringy? Most likely, hopefully at this point, no. If they are though, okay. All right.
I have to say, like, as somebody who is like doing well and has been on my own journey and has businesses and stuff like that, I don't think that I've ever seen someone on social media and been like, ooh, or trying to aspire to do something on social media and been like, ooh, so cringy.
That's cringe. Yeah.
I'm too
if
busy
you are
doing
judging
my own...
like that, right. If you're judging like that, you're probably wasting your time scrolling
you're
instead of
cringy.
taking action. Yeah.
You're fucking cringy if you judge people like that. Like, who cares? Be cringy.
Do you want to know why the judgment happens too? It's like a reflection. It's like a projection of like a little bit of you internally sees something in that person that you're not maybe doing for yourself. And you're like, fuck them. They're cringe. And that's more cringe than anything in the world.
Super cringe. Go to therapy. When you
go see a psychiatrist. I hate the psychiatrist. You have
go
to
see one anyway. I'm not going. That's like the best song ever.
Song today. I know.
Alternatively, where confidence dies is when you delay, when you overthink, when you lose your focus by like making another Canva graphic instead of sending the follow-up. Every time you hesitate, you send a signal to your brain that you can't be trusted. That's the reality.
When you trust your feelings over the facts.
Oh, that must be the universe telling me. It's not the fucking universe. You're scared to do it. You're scared to do it. You know, that's actually something that used to get me so effed up when I was younger. Like I took everything. No, like literally I took everything as like a sign. So like every negative feeling that and also I was diagnosed with OCD later. So it definitely ties into
it. It was a little mental illness.
Yeah. But I think it was a lot of mental illness, but I also think that a lot of people just like do this. They take everything as like a sign. So anytime there's any form of like resistance, they're like, oh, you know, it's supposed to be easy. This is probably a sign that like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, or that I should do something else because there's resistance. Like, no.
Nothing worth like fighting for is easy. Nothing at all. Having the physique of your dreams, having the business of your dreams, like none of that. You're going to meet resistance in all of that. And it's all going to be a challenge and difficult. You're not growing if it feels easy and comfortable. Should you be feeling aligned with what you're like? Should your mission and your vision feel aligned with who you are? Absolutely. But does that mean every single day is going to be like, today's a sunshine day and you're like showing up and it's all so easy? And like, no, you're going to go through trials and tribulations, like no matter what.
And like your brain listens to you. But every time you move, even when it's messy, you build trust and you build evidence. That confidence is built on evidence. that your brain keeps tally of. Like you prove, hey, I do show up for myself, even when it's ugly. And that's how you're going to build that. And that's how you are going to continue to build that confidence, being like, okay, yeah, so like I suck at this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to keep doing it.
I enforced my cancellation policy the first time. Maybe you really had an aversion to doing that. And the first time you did it was like really fucking hard. And you're like, okay, I'm proud of myself. I did it. You've communicated to your brain that like you can do this. Okay. And the end result was not all that bad. Second time, still going to be a little bit of a challenge, but a little bit easier, right? There's a little bit more confidence there. Now, by the 10th time you've implemented your cancellation policy, you're so confident that you're like, this is just what the policy fucking is. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you for understanding my policy. I appreciate it. And you're not even going to be in that headspace of overthinking for 3 hours before you send the message.
Because you survived it. I remember when I first became a leader, that was like one of the hardest things, like to give people feedback if it wasn't like the most positive thing in the world. So I would just avoid the conversation and just like let them skate by. And then like once I learned to actually have a hard conversation when I need to have a hard conversation, because that's actually like, you're not a nice person if you don't tell somebody that they're fucking up, or that they're not doing what you're expecting them to do without telling them that that's what you're expecting them to do. That's not nice.
It's not kind. It's not honest.
It might be nice, but it isn't kind.
No.
So like
honesty is kind.
That was like one of the hardest things for me, like just as like coming into a leadership role with like absolutely no real leadership experience, being able to have a conversation where I am giving feedback. And then like when you survive that conversation and you realize you're better for it, you're like, whew, I did that. I survived.
You're better
that.
for it. And so is the other person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that fucking rocks.
So like, it's never going to come from these like perfect circumstances, right? It comes from surviving the fire and realizing I'm fucking fire.
It's really like resilience. It's like, that's like one of my favorite words, because I find like I've learned a lot of lessons over the past several years. And I know you have to, like, running a startup, y'all, is fucking insane. I just want you to know, like, it's batshit crazy. Like, it's so crazy. And then also like in personal life as well, I feel like I've just learned a lot of lessons. I've had to have really hard conversations, or like hard truths. Like I've had to face reality, and like there've just been a lot of lessons learned. And did I cry through a lot of them, if not most of them? Absolutely. Did I crumble at the seams entirely? No. I'm like, okay, it's a challenge. I'm a cry bad. And then I'm going to I will get through this. And the more trials and tribulations, or like lessons that I've learned, the more confident I've become as a human being and as a whole. It's all going to be okay, because I've got my fucking back, and I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to come out the other side of this stronger. And that's what resilience is. Mm-hmm. And that's when you see someone, you're like, they're so confident, they're resilient, mm-hmm. and they're congruent and in living in integrity. They are who they say they are. They take action that is in alignment with who they say they are. And they're strong to their core, not because life's been so easy, but because they've gotten through some shit. I would say most of like the strongest leaders that I know have been through some shit, and they chose to take those lessons and like bring them forward to other people, or just, come out the other side of it stronger, and continue to show up for themselves. Like those are the people I look up to anyway.
Yeah. Literally just continuing. Like confidence comes from repetition, not affirmation. And I'm not saying that I don't do affirmations. I do.
Yeah, me too.
But that's not where confidence comes from. And it definitely doesn't come from like me journaling for 4 hours. And it doesn't come from me doing like a manifestation meditation. It doesn't. It comes from reps. Like those things
not
help.
Quitting on the worst day.
Yeah.
Like not saying fuck it.
You want to feel confident raising your prices? Raise them and sit in the discomfort.
Yeah.
You want to feel confident in enforcing your cancellation policy? Do it and sit there shaking and get through it. You want to feel confident in pitching a $3,000 service to somebody? Do it and let their mouth drop open and sit there in the discomfort of their mouth dropping open and saying, wow, that's expensive. Do it.
You want to feel confident in your marketing and being in front of a camera. Record your fucking self.
Get your ass on camera every day.
Be on camera. Yeah.
Confidence is never going to come before action. So you can't sit there and hype yourself up to have the confidence to take action. Confidence is what happens after you act and you realize that you didn't die. Your body is always protecting you from literally death in that survival mode. And when you do things that you're scared to do and you don't actually perish from those things, confidence comes as a result. I don't know how many times I could say that word, so I'm just switching it up to perish. Crossover. I don't know.
And we're talking about, like, listen, there are people who are taking risks. Like they're jumping out of airplanes. There are some things that you could definitely, like a fear you could face that you could perish from. We're talking about making like enforcing a policy.
Are you giving like a legal disclaimer? We're not responsible for. We're please, like, don't take this literally. Like, we're not responsible for you taking risks like, in your life. You assess everything Everest, that you do.
Okay, yeah. I'm not telling you to go climb Everest. Do people climb Everest? Absolutely. Is there a huge risk of death? Yes. So what we're talking about is business. Okay.
I'm saying that your body doesn't actually like really know the difference because it still goes into that same survival mode as if you were being chased by a lion, but probably you're not.
Your nervous system is quite literally still like it has not evolved. It's just not evolved.
Because evolution is slow. That's all. So like we're still stuck running from lions, but in reality, we're just have to tell this person that we raise. In reality, we just have to tell someone that we're raising our prices, but our body doesn't know the difference.
I love the trend. Unfortunately, my nervous system doesn't know the difference between like being chased by a bear and then like something so simple, like sitting on the couch and having to decide what to eat for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Confidence is a result, not a prerequisite. Basically. So it's not like only the most confident people go into business. No, it's a result of doing what you're afraid to do. So like you don't actually lack confidence at the end of the day because again, that's not a personality trait. You lack follow through. That's all. So every time you tell yourself or you tell somebody else or you say something that you're going to do and then you don't do it, your confidence weakens. And you train yourself not to believe your own voice. And I know it's harsh, but hear me, like you need more mindset work because without that, the other shit doesn't work. You need to do what the hell you said you were going to do.
Mm-hmm. And in order to do that, you need to build the self-awareness and like have the emotional intelligence to understand that. So like recognize your patterns. Like, okay, it's a me thing. If you find yourself constantly talking about how everything in your life is a result of somebody else's actions, it's time to look within. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but if you are constantly in victim mentality, you are the problem. That sounds so mean.
No, but it's a hard pill to swallow, but I always at this point, I'm like so self-aware that it's ruining my life. I am
the worst fucking thing.
No, but I'm just like, oh, I'm doing a thing. Like I'm having an emotional reaction right now. And that'll go away. But right now I'm having an emotional reaction or just being like, oh, I'm doing that thing that I freaking do again without judgment.
Yeah. How cute. How cute of me.
And also assuming that like I am the problem. If I keep running into the same thing over and over again, I'm like, oh, well, duh, of course it's me. The math isn't mathing. I'm the common denominator. So what the fuck am I doing wrong?
You keep hitting the same hurdles over and over again in your business. You got to make a change.
Then maybe you're your biggest roadblock. Yeah.
It's stop blaming the economy, your clients, your town, it's you, babe. And you have to just take some different action that is aligned with where you're trying to actually be. And when you do that, innately you'll become more confident and you'll make more money. Super cool shit. It's a big slay. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, like it all goes hand in hand. And like really at the end of the day, like what I really want to drive home is you don't need confidence before you do the thing. You get the confidence by doing the thing.
So
by getting rejected and not letting it take you out, by being awful at something and doing it anyway. Like we have people come to the extension certification and the first thing I say is who's ready to suck at a new thing? Who's ready to suck at something new? Because like you're going to come in here cocky and you're going to suck. I promise you suck. And that's okay. I suck too. Listen,
it's hard learning a new skill.
It is by sending the follow-up and posting again, even when your last 10 posts flopped. You want to know what the most confident people have that you don't? They just keep going. they've built proof for themselves. They showed up through the cringe. And it's not loud. Confidence isn't loud. It's quiet certainty that no matter what, you can handle whatever comes. And that certainty only comes from doing hard things repeatedly and realizing that you don't break in half.
Mm-hmm.
You could cry a little. You could cry a lot.
You should. You should cry.
Yeah, you absolutely should. It's so good for you, but I'm on Zoloft, so it doesn't it doesn't flow.
You know, I think about like our parents, right? Our dad passed away. I feel like we've said that in multiple episodes, so you probably know that already. But before he passed, he was working the same job for like 40 plus years, right? Or like around 40
44.
Years. 44. And then our mom, just not like all love. I know her friends listen to this. She might listen to this. Just not the biggest like risk taker at all, right? And neither was he. And so I think of like her voice kind of sometimes where I'm like, I'm going to do this thing, right? Like I'm opening this business, or I'm going to go do this risky thing. And she's like, you're going to do that? Like, what if it doesn't work? I'm like, well, I'm not going to let it not work. No matter what, I'm going to figure it out. And I'm confident in myself enough to say like, I'm not going to let it flop. Will it be hard? Maybe. Will it flop temporarily? Who knows? But am I going to figure it out? Yes. And that's confidence. Like, I'm going to do this thing. Is there risk? Yes. Is it aligned though with my ultimate goals? Yes. Am I capable? Yes. Am I scared? Yes. Also, all of those things are true. There is no mutually exclusive thing there. They're all true, but I'm going to do it anyway because I trust that I'm going to figure it out. That's confidence.
Exactly. That is confidence. Like literally everything that you are waiting for, the confident version of you, they're not 6 months away. They're not waiting until things calm down after the holidays or till the kids are in school or until you get your finances figured out. They're not hiding in like your Squarespace back end or inside your third draft price increase email. They're already there. They're just buried under hesitation and excuses and fear of judgment. Burn that version off and like step into the one who leads.
The confident version of you already took the action, did the thing.
Yeah. You're going to step into the bold version who says, actually, I charge this much. The one who builds their business like it's inevitable, who doesn't wait for confidence. You create it. And listen, like when you start acting like that person, the world catches up. I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always confident. Not at all. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. Wildly insecure, and my behaviors matched that insecurity. But when you start acting like that person, the world catches up. Your clients catch up. Your bank account catches up. But you move first. You have to move first. And not the other way around. Not like I'm going to gain the confidence and then move. I'm going to move and then work toward the confidence. Always. That is always the answer. And let me tell you, like now the people that I was scared of judging me come to me asking me for jobs because I didn't care. I did care actually that people that I knew were going to see me on social media and call me cringe. I'm human. Of course I care, but I did it anyway. And then I kept doing it. And eventually my nervous system regulated and I realized how little that actually matters, that I can count the opinion of who matters on 5 fingers without flinching, maybe 10, but it genuinely doesn't matter. And I do what I say I'm going to do. And I follow through for myself and I follow through for my people, except when I forget, which also sometimes happens because I'm overwhelmed as fuck.
Because you're a human. You know, yeah. I think a good activity for those of you who are listening, who are working on building your confidence, but like maybe you have this internal story like, well, I'm not like that person who is really confident or that person that I aspire to be. Even after listening to this episode, you're still kind of feeling like, I don't know, I'm skeptical. I'm just still not able to build this skill. I want you to go reach out. And this is going to help you build some confidence. Reach out to someone who you look up to. Maybe someone you know in your personal life, maybe someone you knew in high school growing up that you look up to, maybe an influencer on social media, and ask them how they got so confident. I guarantee their story is going to be, well, I sucked really fucking bad at first, and I hate my first work of art. Like, I bet if you spoke to an author that they are ashamed of their first book, or like a musician that their first song they thought was a flop, but they put it out there anyway, and they didn't waver. They kept going. Listen, I know sometimes I feel like she gets canceled every other day, but I look at someone like Chappell Roan, who has been in the music industry for a very long time. And everyone's like, she blew up overnight. She's an overnight sensation. Like, no, she is not. She was performing Pink Pony Club in front of like 30 people 2 years ago, and no one was singing along. And now she's like, as we know, insanely fucking famous and performing in front of hundreds of thousands of people on like a weekly basis and probably making a shit ton of money. She didn't waver. She kept going. You know how many people, I think she said like multiple, like brand, what is it when they sign on with
records,
whatever.
Record labels,
like rejected her and her ideas. And now look, so everyone's got a story. Every success story, it's not luck. It's not luck. That's not where it comes from. Are some people lucky? I think a little bit, but like for the most part, the big success stories that you see, it's people that they didn't waver. They took the action, and they built confidence from there. And they did not waver when things maybe weren't going exactly in the direction that they had hoped when they took that leap. They figured it out. And now they're in that position of you looking up to them. But they didn't start there, I promise.
Yeah. There's a quote, and I don't know who said it, but it's like, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
That's right.
And that's the reality of it. So like, thank you for being here today. And I hope that it resonated with you. And if you needed this message, then I want you to do two things. I want you to send it to a friend who's been playing small. And I want you to screenshot this episode and tag me and Jackie in it and tell us one bold move that you're making this week, and tag at Slice Squad Spills podcast.
So at Nikki Wildflower, at Jackie Ethical Mentor, and at Slice Squad Spills on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I would love you to do. We're going to see you in a couple of weeks. And by then, I expect you to be a little bolder, a little louder, and a lot more dangerous.
Right.
Had to say that.
Just didn't really land, but it was funny.
Thanks. I tried. I know it was a dad joke.
Dangerous.
It was a super dad joke, but I had to do it. Hopefully this resonated with you. Please leave reviews. We don't do any advertising. We don't have any advertisers. We don't have any sponsors. So the way that we get this out there and continue to help other people is through you sharing it and leaving us nice, friendly reviews.
Your words and your views.
Your words and your views.
So thanks, y'all. Have a wonderful day.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Slice Squad Spills. If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe, leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback is going to help us improve and attracts more listeners to the show. Please share with your fellow time slicers. And hey, if you're ready to optimize your time and double your income, we've got you covered.